What's going on, guys? I'm joined by Barry Svrluga. He's a sports columnist for the Washington Post, and this is fourth time winning the award. So congratulations, Barry, and thank you for taking the time and joining me today on this interview.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Of course. So, Barry, what was your career path like on your way to your current position? Did you always know that you wanted to be in the sports media industry?
I kind of did. Yeah, I was the, dorky sports writer path that started with being editor of your high school paper and then going to college and working on the sports staff. I went to Duke and worked at the Chronicle as a student paper there and, covered the men's basketball team and got to kind of dip into it there. And then, I kind of had a path that may or may not exist anymore. I didn't, graduate from college and start covering a Major League Baseball team. I went to a small paper in upstate New York, like 17,000 circulation paper in Corning, New York. And then from there went to Portland, Maine. And from there to Raleigh, North Carolina, where I covered NASCAR for a couple of years. And then University of North Carolina basketball and football teams. And then, after 10, basically 10 years in the business, came to the Washington Post to initially cover University of Maryland basketball and football. So kind of a meandering path.
No, it sounds awesome. And like you said, like to preface it, you were like, I think you took a path that you don't know, even exists anymore. Because with all these interviews, and when I was interviewing all the other award winners, they had similar paths to you, and a lot of them acknowledge that times are changing now, especially with social media and stuff like that. The way you can get your stuff out there. So that was interesting to hear. Barry, what would you consider to be your favorite part of your job?
Well, I mean, in my current job, I like the variety. I have been a beat writer, or had been a beat writer for a long time. Starting with NASCAR and college sports, then moving to I was the Washington Nationals beat writer for several years, then moved to the Washington football team. And there's real value in learning how to work a beat and how to be on the news and how to be an expert on kind of a very small slice of things. But, now in a given week, just by the nature of my job, which is a, general sports columnist, I could, today I'll write a column on the Washington football team's new quarterback. And tomorrow I'll write a column on the proposed rule changes in Major League Baseball. And then I could write a column on a Olympian, who's headed into the Tokyo Games this summer. It's a good, and then, the NCAA basketball tournament starts this weekend. So that's a possible subject. There's really, on a given week or a given day, there's nothing I have to do and nothing I can't do. So I like the ability to kind of weigh in on a whole and learn about a whole variety of different topics.
Yeah. Yep. Fitzpatrick coming to Washington, very exciting. But that is exciting to hear. Cool to hear about the fact that you, on any given day, could write about any sport. You could write about the Nationals one day, and then the Washington football team another, the Wizards another. So that's really interesting to hear. What would you consider to be? Now, this is always a hard question to answer. So this could be something tangible or intangible. But what would you consider to be the highlight of your career thus far?
Oh man. Well, I mean, I've just by the nature of having done it for 25 years or whatever, you just you're lucky enough to be put in a position to see things happen right in front of you that people remember for a long time. So, I've been to all the Olympics since 2004, I guess. And I've done a lot of swimming, so I had Michael Phelps' 8 golds in Beijing. I guess that was a memorable one. I have stuff that might not be memorable to a national audience, but things that are really kind of precious to me. I mean, I was the Nationals beat writer when baseball returned to Washington after a 33-year absence. So that first night at RFK Stadium in 2005, that's a special one for me and a lot of people, baseball fans in Washington D.C. Final Fours and stuff like that, World Series. I mean, I guess the Cubs winning the World Series in 2016 with that, famous Game 7 and the 17-minute rain delay. That one stands out. And then I would say I've covered a lot of golf. So both Tiger Woods' comeback win at the Masters last year, but a little more obscure one would probably be the 2009 British Open, in which Tom Watson, who was 59 years old at the time, was leading going into the final hole, trying to become the oldest person to win a major championship, and ultimately lost in a playoff. But again, not something that everybody remembers, but something that when you're there and you walk in those holes with him, stands out to this day.
Wow, sounds like a whole career of highlights. So that's insane. So Barry, what is the best piece of advice you could give someone who's thinking about pursuing a career in sports media?
So this is going to sound strange, but it really is just do it. It is get your hands out, go out there and write and report and report and report and report and write. And it doesn't really matter the venue that you're getting published, as long as what you're publishing is built on, sound fundamentals. I don't think that young writers and reporters should kind of, watch games on TV and get it heavy into analysis on what they think about, how a team's offense runs, or, whether a coaching strategy works out, without putting some reporting chops into it and asking questions and finding answers and being curious, and not assuming that watching something play out is knowing what happened. That the writing process is really built on the reporting process, and those two are so linked together. And that's true for me to this day. I mean, I will write columns that are not reported. They're just kind of riffs on what I know, but that's kind of based on having, a lot of years in the business, having reported it. And invariably the columns that I like more are reported. They include interviews with the subjects. They include experts. They are thought out, not just through my own head, but through the heads of others. So just do it. Just get out there and find someone who will publish your work, but then make your work worth publishing.
Awesome advice there from Barry. And as a multiple time winner, have you been to awards weekend?
It always falls on a week I can't go. It was like I was doing like a U.S. Open or something, or I had a family event, and this year they're moving it to July, and I'll be in Tokyo for the Olympics. So
wow,
hopefully I'm lucky enough to win again, and hopefully I can figure it out in my schedule.
Awesome. Well, those are all the questions I have, Barry. I'm not going to take any more up more of your time, but thank you again and congratulations. If you want to shout anyone out or leave us with any closing remarks, you could go ahead and do that now.
Just congratulations to all the other winners from around the country. I think this is a really neat award, and gets you to think about your colleagues who do the job every day in every state, and it's a really nice celebration. So I appreciate it.
Awesome. Thank you, Barry.
Thanks so much.